Discussions about privilege are often highly charged because they represent, in many cases, centuries of cross-cultural or group conflict. Now, although privilege takes on many shapes and sizes in today's world, its key role in defining who we are and how we treat others and how others treat us remains a very powerful force. Now, let's take a look at the many faces of privilege. For many of us, privilege is an invisible bank account of free assets that we draw upon every day without even thinking about it. Privilege is often conferred at birth for those born into the right demographic affiliations. Privilege is often derived from a sense of power or control over the environment or society. When we're weaned on this sense of power and control, we naturally, though not necessarily consciously, develop a sense of feeling and being special, even superior. These deeply embedded attitudes often lead to implicit bias and prejudice toward members of non-privileged groups. And even if those born into this privilege never personally act on their prejudice or bias toward the non-privileged, those born into privilege still benefit from its advantages. Privilege also gets perpetuated through media, education, business, and other institutions which tend to revere and reinforce the privilege. And when we're privileged, we can have a hard time recognizing our own status, although we are often able to recognize that others are disadvantaged. A complicating factor of privilege is that it can manifest itself across a host of demographic affiliations, such as race, gender, religion, sexual orientation, social class, and physical and mental ability. Therefore, you and I may have to recognize that we are privileged in more than one area. Now, over time, as privileges led to discriminatory behavior, societies enacted laws to end the formal practices that create advantage for some and disadvantage for others. However, these laws in and of themselves do not erase personal bias. Now, although bias is present in most societies, many do strive to modify this through workplace practices, training, and enhanced understanding that help us recognize and modify our behavior. The work we're doing here is a part of that effort. Let's use a group that's less emotionally charged as an example to bring this to life. Now, we all know left-handed people, and what you may not know is that left-handed people are often disadvantaged by the preponderance of right-handed tools. Let's take a pair of scissors as an example. A very common tool, right? But those of us who are right-handed may not realize that if a left-handed person tries to cut along a line with right-handed scissors, they can't see the line because it's obscured. Plus, holding on to those handles is really uncomfortable. The computer mouse. It's often made to fit right hands only, and many computer installations have the mouse placed on the right side, making it very awkward for left-handers to use. Rulers. They're designed in a way that leaves left-handers measuring things upside down. And as a result of systemic issues such as these, the research suggests that left-handed people are much more prone to accidents. And only within the last century have left-handed people not been maligned or ridiculed. Many parents, they used to try hard to break the habit if their children showed any signs of being left-handed. So it's not too far a stretch to say that right-handed people are privileged. Even if you personally like left-handed people and treat them with great respect and dignity, it's hard to deny that the world favors right-handed people. Now, apply that same concept to a lot of groups belonging to a particular race or gender or religion, just to mention a few. Now, our goal as leaders, teammates, team members is not to perpetuate the societal privileges that exist in the world, not only because of the laws, not only because of the rules, but more importantly because these biases can prevent natural synergies and impede productivity. In order to accomplish this challenging goal, it takes everyone working together. Here are a few tips to think about. It's important to get in touch with times you feel or have felt like you were a part of an underprivileged group. This is going to help you develop empathy toward others. Remember, people bring their experiences with them to work, and even though the systems and policies may be fair on paper, it doesn't mean that others trust that fact or that the people implementing the policies are in fact fair. Remember that your personal goodwill or lack of bias or prejudice does not minimize the impact of systemic bias that others may face. And actively think about the messages that are operating in your head, especially unconsciously. In your organization and team, notice the ways that systems subtly reinforce privilege, and then don't accept the benefits of privilege in your organization or your team without at least questioning it. Ask if the process is fair or if anyone else could also do the task. And use business reasons like, before we all settle on me so quickly, are there others who could possibly do this assignment? When you see people operating from these assumptions or privileges, have the courage to speak up. Privilege, a challenging topic that affects all of us in some way every day, at home and at work.